Glossophobia, the fear of public speaking. I'm told it's the greatest fear of all. In fact, public speaking is feared more than death. Death is number 2. Why would you fear public speaking more than death? Well, I think I can explain this. People by nature are social animals. They live and work in a society. And there are all sorts of social animals. You have ants and bees and guinea pigs and gazelles, and forming a society is a great defense against predators. Every member has a job, and they all look out for each other. The danger occurs when one gets separated from the pack. Bad things happen when you get separated from the pack. And the thing is, every time you stand up in front of an audience, that's what you're doing. You're separating yourself from the pack. You risk being ostracized. And if your message is not well received, the audience may shun you, and you'll be eaten by a hyena. Okay, that's not likely to happen. But that's why it's a phobia. It's an irrational, primordial fear that we can't seem to shake. So, what do you do about it? Well, the standard advice is to take deep breaths, don't rush, don't freak out. But the most important thing is to focus on your job. You must deliver your message to the audience. If you're focused on whether you'll be liked or disliked or ostracized from the group, you're probably in trouble. You can't make the audience like you. You have to go about your business, and they'll make up their own mind whether they like you or not. You can't make them like you. Remember, the goal of the speech does not reside inside of you. It resides in your audience. Those are the people you want to change. And what you want to see is the head nod. So don't keep the energy right here. You need to send your energy to the back of the room. And don't mumble. Alright? And you don't want to yell at your audience either. You want to get it out there, but don't yell. My fellow speechmakers, I urge each and every one of you to take a stand against yelling and screaming. And certainly don't shout if you have your microphone. Let the microphone do the work for you. Adjust it once and then leave it alone. You shouldn't have to lean into it. Don't blow into it. Don't tap on it. Or ask everyone if it's working or if everyone can hear you, because that's just really annoying. Arrive early and check out the microphone then. If possible, it's often a good idea to step away from the lectern anyway. And really, you need to get this straight. This is a lectern, and it's not a podium. A podium is something you stand on when you win a gold medal. P-O-D is Greek for foot. So a tripod, for example, has 3 feet. And a podium is something at your feet. But while you stand on a podium, you stand at a lectern. Now that may sound picky at first, but they're really different things with different names. This is a lectern. So you don't have to be glued to your lectern, and you don't have to hold on to it like this, like it might run away from you or something. This is a performance, not a recitation. So you can gesture and pause and move as long as it's not extraneous movement. Pacing around and having your hands flitting like moths around a light bulb will be a little distracting. Frequently, you'll have the slides for your presentation. You don't need to turn around and give your speech to the screen. Right? Remember that your goal is out there, not up on the screen. And then you might have props too. Sometimes you might want to use props to demonstrate something. Just make sure they're large enough for your audience to see. And make sure they work. All right? And they also have to be purposeful. You don't want to use something that just simply distracts the audience from your speech. And that goes for playing with your hair if you have any, or your tie, or your glasses, or anything else. Everything should be purposeful. And that purpose is to deliver your message to the audience. If you keep that single idea in mind, you will be the hunter and not the hunted. Most of the time, there aren't any hard or fast rules, so really just be yourself. In fact, you have to be yourself because you're you. You're what they've come to see, so show them you. Deliver that message to the audience and don't drift away from the pack or you'll be